to be reckoned with. I mean, they are just coming in with guns blazing.
What's up, guys? Man, futures are down today. We were gonna have another bad day.
Robert Mueller reportedly.
What's up, guys? It is Thursday, and futures are down. People are freaking out, I think, about the Fed rate hikes, even more so than yesterday. Cramer's saying that that's not, we shouldn't really be worried right now, but man, they're testing my abilities right now because, man, like, so I had a $16,000 loss a little bit ago. Then I had another $16,000 loss day, followed by an $11,000 loss day. And I thought I handled that pretty well, but I was not expecting to have another shitty day like this. I just wasn't. I thought the worst was behind us, and so now I don't know if I should just like sell everything and then wait for a little bit, or if I should just hold on to everything like I did before and hope for it to come back in the next couple days. I really don't know at this point. It's really I have to agree with Cramer. I mean, if I'm optimistic, which I am, I have to agree with him. But you know, it's going to be a rough week. It's going to be a rough, maybe even next week. We could drop like 30 more grand from where we're at now. We could go back down to like the low 80s, high 70s. But I think ultimately it will go back up, and we will eventually get back to where we are. So the question just is, like, how well can I time everything? Like, should I sell and wait and get back in at a lower price? Can I even do that successfully? So DJ Khaled's ringing the opening bell today. That's pretty cool. Looks like there's like a company or a non-profit called Get Schooled, help encouraging kids to graduate high school, and DJ Khaled is a spokesperson for them. That's really cool. All right, so we're doing another voiceover summary. So because this was 37 minutes of footage in this episode, I promise this should be the last one. Uploads will be much faster from now on. All right, so with that said, we logged into the account and we were down already just shy of $102,000. So at this point, I was looking at some Tesla, the Tesla options that I had to see what the prices were, whether to decide whether I wanted to sell or not. And you can see, even though the price was currently trading at $82.70, the bid and the ask were both well below that. I believe it was like a 9% dip from there. So I did decide to sell my Tesla. You can see there, I also sold my Amazon calls. I looked at the prices and it was dropping. So I decided to sell that as well. And you can see it sold at $52.24. And my plan was to try to buy back into these at lower prices. That was the plan for today. Luckily, I got hooked up with some free trades because some of my referrals didn't really go through. I didn't get the free trades that we were supposed to get. So a guy from Scottrade hooked us up with some extra free trades. So that was pretty cool. So anyways, I sold my universal display calls at this point. It was 8:50 in the morning only, and we sold them at $29.03 a share. So we got out of that position. And then also decided to sell the Google calls that we had, and our strike was $1,000, expiration January 19th of 2018. So you can see those trades that executed in the completed section. Then I was looking at getting back into the same exact calls, and you can see there that the price, and this is where I totally forgot about the put and ask spread, which I was very disappointed in myself for forgetting, because when you sell, you have to sell at the bid price, but when you buy, you have to buy at the ask price. So if you sell and the price doesn't come low enough, even if the price is still lower than it was, the asking price can still be higher than the bid price. And so at this point, I was getting a little disappointed, but hoping for the best. So what I did was I placed a limit order, and I set the price at $33, just hoping that because we sold, if you look at the top of the screen there, we sold at $33.63. So I figured if I can get in at this point, I was willing to take anything. So I was like, if I can get in below $33, I'll be happy with that. And so I went ahead and placed that order. And then I decided right after that to look. I was looking at the universal display prices again to get back into that position. I was hoping to get in at a lower price. I was looking at the prices. The bid was at $14.40. The ask was at $15.40. I waited a little bit to see if the prices went down, and it only went down. The ask only went down 10 cents, as you can see in this slide. So I decided to just set my limit order for 11 contracts. The ones I sold were in the money, so I decided to buy out of the money calls to hopefully get some more return. And we'll talk about that in a future episode about how to choose strike prices, because I'm still learning myself, but I learned a bunch over the last couple months. Anyways, set my limit price for $15 with a 120 strike this time. Same expiration, January 19th, 2018. And then you can see there in the completed, it actually, right after that, it already triggered. So you can see I did get in for $15, and you can see the Google call limit. I had to modify the limit price because it was starting to come down a little bit. So I lowered my price a little bit just to see if I could get in at a cheaper price. So then I was looking at placing a limit order for Tesla. So I was looking at the January 18th, 2019 expiration this time. $500 strike price. I set a limit price for $32.50 and then placed that order, and then I placed a limit order to get back into Amazon. The exact call that I already sold was starting to come back up in price. You could see I sold it right in the bottom of that completed orders list up there. I sold for $52.24, but the current price was $53, and then the ask was a little bit higher than that. So I tried to get in lower, so I set a limit price for $51.80 and placed that order. And here you can see all the open orders on the left and then completed orders on the right. After that, I decided to place, this was around 9:14 a.m., I decided to place a limit order to get back into Netflix because I hadn't been in Netflix in a while and I wanted to get into Netflix again. So I looked at the June 15th, 2018 expiration and $175 strike price because at the time it was at $148 per share. I set my limit price for $11.20 to try to get in more towards the bid price and placed that order. And then right at this point, the Tesla order triggered. So you can see that now moved over to the completed orders tab. So that was awesome. And then shortly after that, the Netflix order triggered. So we were able to get into the Tesla and Netflix calls at the price that we set. So that was awesome news. So at this point, I was watching some TV and saw this analyst, Michael Graham, talking about why he thinks Google is at the end of its run and how he thinks the price is going to go down. And here you'll see me talk about why I disagree with that.
To the end of that run than we are at the beginning.
Yeah, shut up.
So I think it's fair to say that.
So here's why I disagree with this guy. I think Google's not at the end of their run. They just got into the smartphone market, which the first Pixel sold pretty well, and it was a solid phone. Like if you watch Marquez Brownlee, his review of the Pixel, that's his phone that he's actually currently using right now. A lot of people are using the Pixel. And that was their first ever smartphone. They're going to have the Pixel 2 coming out soon. That's just a whole new market for them, a whole new revenue stream. I feel like more people than ever are trying to make a living on YouTube now. Like there's just more ad revenue going to be coming in. They had that whole scare with the thing, but I think they're going to fix it. I think it's going to come back because the bottom line is more people are watching YouTube than they're watching TV. I think there's that. They just launched YouTube TV. Like you can actually get cable from them now. And then there's self-driving cars. I don't know if I mentioned that. There's just a bunch of stuff that Google's working on. I am not at all worried about Google. I think this guy saying that Google might be at the end of their run, I think is horribly wrong. I think they're not just getting started, but they're in the middle of that just getting started. Like I think there's a lot of room to grow. So hopefully with these Google calls that we are trying to get, we can get them. Because yeah, I think Google's going up in the future. Speaking of that, I did want to show you something. I hit refresh on here. And my buying power balance dropped, and I think that's because since I'm down more money now, they're not going to let me. They're essentially not loaning me as much money as I had. If I had more money, they'd loan me more money. But since my balance is dropping a little bit, this balance actually decreased. Buying power non-margin, or the total cash balance, like that one dropped. So hopefully we can get back into Google here, and it hasn't dropped yet, so we're going to keep an eye on it. Hopefully we don't have to modify it to raise it again. I might do that, but we're just going to keep an eye on it. I have it on the quick tab here. So this is refreshing every 15 seconds. So we'll just see what happens. And if I have to raise it, then I'll raise it so we make sure we can get back in. Because we sold it at 33.63. So I guess if I can get in like anything lower than that, that'll be fine. Alright, so at this point in the video, I re-raised my Google limit price because the price started to go back up again, and I still wanted to make sure I got in, so I raised it back up to $33, hoping that it would trigger very soon. And then also I overheard while I was editing on the TV that this one guy was talking about why he likes Microsoft. And Microsoft was a company I wanted to get into for a long time, and I just kept forgetting. So I was really glad that I had the TV on in the background because I heard him talking about why he likes Microsoft. So I decided to place an order for Microsoft, as you'll see in the next slide here. And I decided with the June 15th, 2018 expiration, $80 strike price, and I was able to get 7 calls, or no, not 7, sorry, 10. It split them up in a few different orders, but got 10 calls for Microsoft, got in at $2.07, so really stoked. And now we're gonna go back to the video. It was around 8:15 when I started filming again, so here we go. So believe it or not, we lost a little over 6 grand, actually close to 7 grand, but like $6,800. But I was actually quite excited when I figured that out because I thought we were down like 10 grand for the day. I think we were down at 10 grand at one point, but I was really happy with the trades that I made. I think the only trade that I kind of got burned on was the one getting back into Google. If I had bought those same contracts back, I would have spent more money. So I ended up buying ones with a higher strike further out that were a little bit cheaper. Hopefully I gave myself enough time to let this price reach that strike. So hopefully, overall though, I think we saved a lot of money, and yeah, so I'm real excited. So there's actually a few options that actually went up today. I was really surprised. Nvidia was one of them, and I think they finished up for today actually too. Yeah, Nvidia actually finished up for the day, so I was really surprised with that because they were down earlier today like almost everyone else. But you can see we did take a big hit with like basically everything else. So yeah, I mean, it was just everyone's still freaking out about the Fed rates. Really nothing else to it. But I think they're gonna go up. I think they're gonna bounce back. So with that said, I gotta make dinner for myself and my girlfriend. So it's already 8:15 p.m. But I'm gonna start editing some more videos tonight and just keep at it. And I hope you guys are loving the video so far. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share with your friends if they are getting interested in investing and you want to show them a channel, someone who's doing it right now that they can learn from. That would be really awesome. So with that said, I hope you guys had a fantastic day, and we will see you tomorrow.